Hello all. My name is Uriarte. Welcome to Skinworks. I'm digital curator at the Photographers Gallery. Skinworks is a collaborative program launched by Fotomuseum Winterthur and the Photographers Gallery, supported by Pro Helvetia. Skinworks is a fortnightly program of live stream events in which artists, curators, researchers take the audience into an online exploration of their work processes and environments. The series aims to illuminate a contemporary digital arts scene that is pushing the boundaries of photography and visual network culture. Our guests share their screen, inviting the audience to dive into their desktop, their hard drives, and their folders. The format of each event changes according to the proposals of the leading person or collective, such as tonight. And in previous Skinworks, we have had live performances, tutorials, online expeditions, studio visits, or even computer takeovers, among so many other formats. Please check our YouTube and Twitch channels to discover any of our previous events. If this is your first time with us and you are joining us on Zoom, your microphones should be muted. If not, please go ahead and mute them now. And the event is being recorded and will be archived. So please turn off your camera if you don't want to be recorded. If you have any questions throughout the event, please send them to Marco or to me in a private message or write them directly on the public chat.
And welcome from me too. I'm Marco De Mutis, digital curator at Fotomuseum Winterthur in Switzerland. It's great to be back, another year, another lockdown, another series of fantastic artists, curators, academics digging deep in the unexplored corners of the internet, researching the forms in which the photographic and visual culture at large is being shaped by digital and network technologies. We're starting 2021 with a topic that is long overdue on our list of networked images to explore: memes. Memes are not only the fundamental unit of cultural network exchange, but also an essential form of network images which have redefined the properties of the photographic and a relation to pictures. From their origins as innocent and humorous lolcats to the hateful symbols of alt-right trolling of Pepe the Frog, memes have played an increasingly important role as a new form of visual communication. The creation, use, and sharing of memes have brought forward novel forms of political expression and tools of propaganda, manipulating emotions, reinforcing ideologies, affecting election results. On top of that, from a point of view that is closer to photography, memes disrupt and challenge traditional notions of originality and authorship in favor of imitation and variation, circulation and transformation by multiple users via the internet. In spite of this, or perhaps precisely because of this, photography institutions have paid limited attention to this form. But luckily with us today, there is a collective of meme experts who are ready to help us catch up with the recent memetic history and its social and cultural implications. Clusterduck Collective are in fact the authors of a transmedia and participatory project titled MEME Manifesto, which they are currently developing and which they will share with us. They are an interdisciplinary collective working in the fields of new media studies, design, and transmedia, investigating processes and actors behind the creation of internet-based content. Clusterduck created the online exhibition Meme Propaganda, hosted by Green Cube Gallery, as well as the participative exhibition Memers for Future, investigating the role of memetics in the global climate justice movement. Tonight, they will share their deep knowledge of visual network culture with us and offer an insight in their disruptive research methods through a participatory project that invites us all tonight to create a detective wall, collectively curating memes that deal with stock photography. If you want to join the project, you can stay with us in Zoom or on our screenworks.com website, but please use the messaging application Telegram in order to submit your favorite memes. If you do not have an account, please download the application on your phone now and sign up so you'll be ready to join when the project starts. Clusterduck, thank you so much for accepting our invitation. The screen is yours.
Hi, thanks to you for inviting us. We are going to quickly share our screen. Okay. So nice to meet you. This is the homepage of our website and already tells you something about what we are and what we do. As Marco was saying, we tend to research in the fields of memes and digital art and internet communities in general. We are 5 people, 5 founding members who are working and chatting every day online. Today I'm Silvia, I'm gonna be with Arianna, and later Tommy will help us with the undone part. Francisca, which is another of the 5 founding members, is going to reach us later and send memes from her secret stash, and Noel maybe is going to participate, maybe not, we will see. Anyway, okay, so this is us. While we work with Ray Online, as I was saying, we also relate with 20 collaborators, and okay.
Yeah, we have some issues with how to present it, but basically the people you see here is the people we worked with during the length of the project MEME Manifesto that we're going to present today. So Jules Durand, the designer with whom we conceived the beta version of the MEME Manifesto book, and that takes care of the editorial aspect of the project. Greg and Pietro, our developers, the developers of all the Clusterduck project, but especially of these. Ginevra, who's helping us with many of the illustrations that will be displayed in the various assets that compose the project, and Umberto, who is currently building a Telegram bridge bot that will help us to collectively archiving and the process of research on the memes. Of course, there are many other people in this image, and it would take too much time to thank them all. But yeah, what we meant to express is that we are in a European, a mainly European network, but people basing themselves online and building online their network and their collective work.
So how do we work online? Of course, we, like as we are doing right now, we talk with each other with video calls, and we do this since many days before the COVID, since we started this work almost 3 or 4 years ago, and our collaborators are living in Europe, in various parts of Europe. But what we also do to connect with each other is to use Telegram chats, which are thematic Telegram chats, all linked together also by a bridge bot who is archiving everything, which is called the Lisho bot. And so what we do in this chat, every time we do a meeting, like as we are doing right now, we tend to gather more and more network, and we use this chat for different themes. So we will have, on this chat, we will have hot news, social media life, memetic, trolls, QAnon and conspiracy, but also we do this to gather material. So we use this for memes. We have a chat who's called Just Fresh Tank Memes, who's about Just Fresh Tank Memes. And we have a chat about cursed image. We have a chat about videos that blow your mind. So of course, we are going to invite you to join the chat as well. And this is the research, the general research, as I'm disappearing, the general research that we constantly do. While during this particular meeting, we are going to work at a project which is the main project we are doing this year, who is called MEME Manifesto. And so while we are talking, if you did not, we invite you to join this chat that we are going to work in the second part of the project, of this meeting. and be ready to shitpost your stash, your stock meme stash. We are going to explain later about it. So now we are going to talk a bit about our work in general and past projects, so that you can be kind of introduced to our trip. So for us, in our past work, we worked a lot with memes, not just with memes, but we worked a lot with memes, and we consider memes a language and sometimes even a technology that can change reality. So we can say that basically our work on memes is based on this powerful assumption that you are seeing in me here. Memes are a technology capable of changing the reality that surrounds us. And this could mean many things. So for example, of course, memes, we observe that memes has been used constantly to communicate feelings and ideas between closed and open internet communities since 2006. For example, what you are seeing here is the official Pepe Wojak canon, which is the story of and all the sedimentation of the sharing of this meme character or meme reactions by the users. So as you can observe from this kind of genealogy of the Wojak and the Pepe, which are two meme characters, you will see that every user is kind of participating in a story that develops every time someone is posting something. And this is why for us also the contest in which all the memes are created is really important. One other important thing that we kind of study in our project is the relationship that memes has with marketing, with politics in general, and with many forms of propaganda, from the politic propaganda to many forms of disruptive propaganda, as we are seeing lately with what happened with QAnon and with the kind of new form of conspiracy theory who are developing right now, also through memes. So of course, all of you probably have seen in the past week what happened at Capitol, and probably you already seen the image of who is called the QAnon shaman. Who's here, so we cannot be long about that, but let's say that we tend to observe memes as a powerful tool for propaganda, and also a powerful tool, as we have seen, for disruptive advertising. For example, today we are going to talk about stock images. It's interesting to see to observe the feedback that stock images and stock memes had in the past years, because you know that the stock images are they're created for commercial purposes. Then what happened is that they became a meme, and then they came back to be used for marketing, because of course you can still, you know, go to whatever website to buy that image and use it. And this is, for example, what I don't remember, but the Hungary did to publicize a campaign for fertility. So they did that. They use what is called now the distracted boyfriend, which is one of the most famous memes which were generated by stock images, and they use it for a commercial purpose. Of course, what we observe in our work is that memes can be used also from grassroots standpoints and from creators, not just from, you know, powerful spin doctors or brands, to create a disruptive message or an anti-marketing campaign, as we see here with "You Were a Bad Idea," which is, of course, talking about IKEA, or which this meme is from the Renaissance Man, who's a meme artist with which we collaborated in the past, and or memes as stock image can be used, as Pantored function did, to spread the message about the founding police. And memes can be also used to confuse the Facebook algorithm. And so this is another important, let's say, theme that we try to explore, is the relationship between the platform, the users of the platform, and the memes, how you are allowed to post some memes and some not, and stuff like that. Now, Aria is going to talk briefly about our last projects about memes.
Yeah, so in the last 3 years, we have been working at two main, let's say, participative projects that will not only to investigate the artificial power that memes as a technology can be, but also put it into practice. So the first one, the one that you see on your left, is meme propaganda that took place in 2019, while the second one, Memers for Future, is the one on the right, and it's still ongoing. With meme propaganda, what we did is public call to six artists, meme makers, sorry for mispronunciations, who made memetic posters to be distributed online and used at demonstrations. In order to overturn the 2016 common concept that the left can meme, I don't know how many of you ever heard this phrase, but it was a meme and a recurring phrase during the years between 2016 and 2017, that the left people couldn't meme. So we wanted to kind of disrupt this narration and build new memetic narratives together. So these are the posters that has been created. Sorry for switching to forward. These ones are the posters that has been created for the exhibitions online, which was a cube map, as we then became a kind of signature of our artistic work. And yeah, we basically subdivided the project between an URL part, which is represented by the cube map and all the concept that was explained in the website that was belonging to that. And as you can see here, a physical distribution of the posters in real cities. So for instance, here you can see Paris, Rome, St. Petersburg, Moscow, Rotterdam, London, Madrid, Berlin, just to name some of the pictures we received. So basically we were inviting online to distribute and represent with pictures the distribution of offline posters. And just a few years later, this became a very valuable work in the project that we realized last spring, that investigated the practice of using memes as a protest sign that was now a widespread practice, especially in the social justice movement and the climate justice movements that we have been investigating with Memers for Future. So in Memes for Future, what we decided to do is to apply the knowledge that we developed with meme propaganda to this to these kind of climatic activism projects, to give them space and echo, because we really felt it as a very important matter and topic of our contemporary. And we basically collected, documented, and studied their use online, and especially the feedback loops that memes were having between IRL and URL movements, and presenting them to Repubblica last spring. So we reached the last project, which is the one that we are presenting more widely tonight. So MEME Manifesto has been implemented during our residency at Impact in the last months, and thanks to the IMAP-EMARE residency exchange. It will continue to grow in the upcoming months, and in its final form, let's say, in the final of its various forms, let's say, it will be a book. With the one that you see displayed here on the right is a prototype, which was firstly displayed at the Wrong Digital Biennale in 2017 in the pavilion we curated at Clusterduck at Panke Gallery in Berlin. But it will also be much more than a simple book, as we are building this book piece by piece, following a collaborative research process.
Okay, so in fact, in order to become a book, we are trying to build this using a transmedia project, let's say. So what we are doing is basically try to reach as many community as we can who are interested in meme culture. Of course, we already are connected with many of them, but we are doing so using a structure which consists in different outputs and different media, let's say. So we are building a website archive, which is already online in his beta. We are maybe...
Sorry.
Sorry, I'm disappearing. So I think it's because of... So we are also building an digital and analogic installation who's called the detective wall. And we are going to build one of the panels of the detective wall together. We are also using chats as we did, as we were saying before. And then we are doing participative workshops. So this is a short one. We did long ones in Matadero some months ago, maybe just 1 month, I don't know. And then, of course, the results are usually then published in a zine. And at the end of all this beautiful, let's hope, travel, we will publish an art book. Or a book, we don't know. So, of course, since you are here today, you do not know, but you just became part of this project. So, our MEME Manifesto landing page is already online on mememanifesto.space. And the digital installation is of which we are working right now is an iceberg tears voyage. So maybe you know the iceberg tears meme. What we are doing here is to build an archive, a web archive from the most mainstream memes and iconic and older memes to the most unknown and elaborate one. So for the moment, just 5 of the 10 layers of deepness that we are going to build are already online in a beta version of the website. Also the front end will change in the future. But what we are doing is basically building this archive and taking care of all the attribution, also thanks to Know Your Meme, with a very precious source. But what we are trying to do is, of course, also to attribute the community from which the memes are from. And if we know who did the meme, because it's not true that every meme is anonymous. Some memes you can actually know who was the first to do that, or also, you know, memes has handles, copyrights, etc. So what we are trying to do is to give a context of every meme that we have in the archive. You can visit the website if you're curious. So as I was saying, as I was saying already, the landing page is inspired by the iceberg tiers that you're seeing here, allowing the user to go deeper in this travel and to understand, you know, memetic in a big overview. This is a kind of gate to hell in a way, because this is the first thing that you do if you want to start to collaborate in this project. You go to the landing page, you go through this travel, and after this travel you kind of go deeper and deeper. So this is our plan. And but why 10 levels? And now Ari is going to explain why. Let's say we inspired to the Tree of Life esoteric symbol.
Yeah. The esoteric approach that Silvia was referring to, that we followed by choosing the Kabbalistic Tree of Life as an inspiration for the structure of our research on memes, also follows another framework that highly impacts both our visual and theoretical inquiry, as we felt that there are several, we feel actually, that there are several analogies among internet cultures and the historical cultures that included occult disciplines in their social interaction and diffusion of knowledge. So for example, Abraism with the Tree of Life that we refer to here. We can see that in the presence of multiple layers of meaning, both in the artistic and in the literary production of these cultures, but also in the way they are organized as communities. And as also in the recent past, a writer called Erika Lagalis explained in her book that it is called in Italian anarcho-occultismo, which would be anarcho-occultism, but I don't know how the English translation is for the book. But it's a really good book. Find anything that's written by her if you happen to, because we highly recommend that. So, and this leads us to the 10 Telegram chats, of which Silvia is going to explain further.
Okay, so the bot is still not functioning, but it will in a couple of weeks. So maybe you will remember us, oh yeah, the bot, and you will go to the chats. So the Abby bot, it is going to scrape from the Telegram chat the memes that user decide to send to our archive, and automatically, with a human moderation that will still happen, quite automatically, this meme will go to the website, and this forever. So we plan to update the website with the contribution by the users until we have money to pay the servers. So about the detective wall, the detective wall is instead the digital but also analogical installation that we are building. For the moment, what we are seeing here is the exposition we did of the first 5 tables of the detective wall in Berlin. Of course, we are building 10 detective walls, as our layers are 10, and now we are going to illustrate which are the 10 layers. Maybe some of you, since you're coming from an artistic background, you will kind of understand the reference that we are using for this research, was very useful for us, not only to kind of expose our archive, but also to expose the meme in a context of which those memes were born. We will show you later, but the reference, I don't know if you understood, but
is inspired by the famous Abi Warburg's Bilder Transmemosin, with a nod to the Peep Sylvia meme that you've seen in the previous slide. And I don't know how many of you are familiar with Abi Warburg, but he is an historian of art, and what particularly captures us of his research is the concept of Pathosformen, as he defines it in Das Nachleben der Antike. I'm not sure about my German pronunciation, so I hope you might excuse me. The primitive words of passionate gesture and language, and the emotionally charged visual tropes that recur to through all images in Western Europe. So a concept quite effective in describing the mechanics of memetic reproduction as we observed through the last years of research. And so we don't have, unfortunately, the time to go deeper on why his research captures us so much. But we found this perspective to be matching very well research on memes as polarized through various degrees of feelings and deepness. And we hope to have given you a glimpse of curiosity toward the amazing work of the Bilder Transmemosin, which is the book that Warburg used to describe his way of collecting recurring images in the history of art, European history of art. And because it is, again, it's really worthy of NDP.
So, as we were saying, today we are going to build together in our hand-on part, which will come in like 10 minutes. We are going to build a micro-detective panel, let's say, about stock memes. And we are going to give you some hints later so that we can help you in this research. But before doing that, maybe to help you in the realization of this micro table, we are going to show you the 10 detective walls tables as we build them in these past months.
So this is the first one, which is called Memes as Collective Rituals, and is exploring the age of raids, trolls, and anonymous. And yeah, I think you are quite familiar with most of the formats and characters. Of course, don't hesitate to ask us later as we go to the more hands-on part. But yeah, this is the first table. As you can maybe observe, memes are gathered in various parts of the table for various reasons, as you will observe through the different tables. There are like clusters of memes in each table to help us define the recurrence of some semantic patterns.
Like this one, for example, is about memes and the mainstream, because with the impact memes, with the advice animals memes, also what happened to the history of memes is that the memes were forced, kind of invited into the mainstream culture. And so as we are trying to collect the most kind of iconic advice animals, we are also trying to build a discourse behind this collection. And so you are going to see, for example, Benu, who's the first who were kind of earning money from memes, or you will see the first commercial about memes. There is a little unlucky Brian here who was called to advertise McDonald's. So this is basically what we are doing.
And yeah, so the third one is what makes memes relatable. It's a meticulous selection of various relatable memes coming from our Telegram group, Just Fresh Dunk Memes. So these memes kind of express the feelings you can feel related to. So okay, would kind of make you feel empathic with the meme itself, or with the feeling that the meme is trying to describe. And again, here you will see the memes clustered with formats, through formats and images and other aspects.
This table is about memes between technique and magic. So the hyperstition, let's say, that could be behind some of the memes. This is now, I mean, as you are seeing, the levels, the layers we are using are also a kind of historical process. And this now looks really like 2000 to 2060, because I mean, right now, let's say the hyperstitional landscape of memes is even more complex than what it was 4 years ago. But this gives you a picture, and it will give this picture also, like in 10 years from now, of what was happening during that time. So later after Gamergate, later after Donald Trump was elected, and all, you know, the ugly story about Pepe and Kek and Kekistan, and also the reaction of the left, and what happened, you know, with other kind of hyperstition from the left side. But let's go on.
So the fifth one, to not lose too much time, it's called Memes and Identity Politics, and it dives into issues such as self-representation, the frequent stereotyping of political and sexual identities made by memes, and the detriment of this practice, also been made by memes. So, for example, you will see a lot of reference to the incel culture. I don't know how many of you are familiar with this kind of super misogynistic and sexist subculture, but I'm glad for you if you are not. And yeah, in general, it tends to reflect on all the self-representation identity, so politics, of course, but also sex, gender, race, and all the other concerns that memes may express. And yeah, what Silvia was saying before about the table number 4, I think it's quite true also for this table. It's not, these are not all contents we identify to, but we use them to display also the critic sides of cultures, which are these, and expresses these, and this would be what they expressed through the years in a stratification of layers.
Okay, now we are going faster.
Yeah, we have to go, so, speed up.
So this is a table which is still ongoing about a special current, let's say, whose original content memes, which is something who's developing on Instagram from, let's say, 2018. Then we wanted to talk about language and meta memes and reflexive meme, because this is, of course, a kind of reaction that many memes community has to start to discuss about memes, which is what we are also doing. And this is something more recent, because we are still kind of living the process of this, and it has to be the relationship between memes and conspiracy theory. And all kind of conspiracy theories, also fake conspiracy theories, like the dolphins are evil, not just, you know, the QAnon side of the coin. And
so here, this table is dedicated to surreal memes and memetic narratives. So we decided to depict the ancient battle between Meme Man and Angry Orange, which are just two of the many surreal characters that populate surreal meme imaginary. And
the last one, it's about fried and naked memes, and but it's also about communities and cultural appropriation. This is because the fried memes, which could be considered a very kind of twisted part of the glitch digital art, it's truly coming from the Black Twitter and was appropriated later on by other communities, like, for example, the alt-right is appropriating this symbol. So, but whatever, we cannot tell you all the lore because it will take ages. So if you have question, you can use, I don't know which chat, maybe Marco. What did we decide that
which is the most appropriate chat to pose questions?
Any chat, any follow your hearts. The closest chat to you.
So yes, if everything is clear, this means our work makes sense.
I think John received the question, if I am not mistaken.
Sorry?
There was Francesco asking, how does one get involved with Clusterduck? But I guess that the reply will be joining events like this.
How does, I didn't get the question, how does someone
get involved with Clusterduck?
Well, of course, participating these kind of events or meeting us live if possible, if Corona and measures allows you to, but also using the hello@clusterduck.space mail that we shown before in the presentation. This is probably the most effective and quick way to get in touch with us.
Because if you write us on our email, we could, for example, what we usually do is that we welcome you in our Telegram research chats. And then it depends, of course, from what you want to do.
Which part of our work you're interested in, but yeah, usually mail is a good way to clarify and direct people.
So I think the only chat that was not supposed to use for other things is the Telegram group chat, which is now been flooded by non-iStock photography. So maybe we can move to the side of the project so you can
go
all of it.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So what we are doing today together with you is to analyze the universe of the stock memes. We choose this topic because we thought that you may be interested, since you are coming from, I mean, we are kind of hosted from how you say, from
photography lovers.
Yeah, let's say that.
Photo museums and photographers gallery.
Yes. So as you are kind of reaching your laptop and start to search through the internet the stock image memes, or maybe you have already a background about this and you want to express something about this, like, you know how the memes were born, why the stock images are so important. Maybe you know something about this theme already and you want to express it. We are going to give you some hints that could be useful for your quest if this theme is new for you. So stock photos are always kind of, since years, maybe since 15 years, mocked online because of their surreal and unrealistic portrayals of everyday life. Stock photos are commonly captioned or used as reaction images on sites like 4chan, Reddit, or Tumblr. How this all started, there was a Tumblr account that was called awkwardstockphotos.com, who's still on, and started to post awkward stock photos, and this of course, I mean, the photos were so shocking, and that the internet users started to caption it, and they became meme. These are the most famous stock used for meme. So you have, of course, Disruptive Boyfriend, you have Hide the Pain Harold, who's, you know, the living meme right now, the most famous living meme. He also did a TED talk about that. So then you have the, I don't know actually the name of the meme with the old girl with the gun. Then you have the girl eating salad, is a classic.
Someone said it already.
And and then you have this woman from the future.
Oh,
And these are some of the selection that Francesca did from her archive. And of course, as you see, stock images works very well with feelings, because this is what they were born for, in a way, in a very twisted way, no? So they are kind of showing us in a very, very, how could I say,
twisted, like, or the turn could be probably the more
they really have to show it.
It's a torn semantic remix, basically, because you usually use the image, which is an exaggeration of some kind of feeling, and then use the caption to say either something that reinforces for example, the inspiration or the generic attitude in these cases, or the physical pain of people. And commenting something that does not absolutely relate neither with physical pain or despair or the generic attitude of someone walking by the street and hanging on with some friends.
Yeah,
so,
and that's probably why they work so well with relatable meme, because relatable memes are about relatable feelings.
Exactly.
So,
and they're much used on this kind of formats, and yeah, they also function quite well for meta memes, as they often reflect on the fact that they are stock photos used for memes. For example, the first one on the left, or the one on the bottom right.
Nobody hackers on Shutterstock.
Exactly, nobody hackers on Shutterstock, and the depiction of hackers is totally not believable that Shutterstock does in its available photos. Or, for example, the bottom right one, which says, "Do you know what you're doing, right, doctor?" And the doctor, "No, I'm not certified at all. This is a stock photo we're posing for." So actually, a meta reflection on that stock photos themselves. So
let's say that maybe we could use this kind of red fil rouge. We ask ourselves, why are these, and some of them, not all of them, but some of them become really so popular that they become iconic. Like, for example, Hide the Pain Harold. Now he's the representation of that feeling when you are sad inside, but you have to smile. and he will be that like forever. It's like Madonna of the Hide the Pain, you know? So we like, why this image is so powerful? We were asking themselves that. And I mean, it's quite important for us, because if you see it from an art perspective, you can, I mean, if Hide the Pain Harold was art, it would be like really a good piece of art, because he has a lot of
the fusion that memes get sometimes is completely comparable to advertising, art products, and history about products. Like, and this, of course, brought us to pose ourselves the questions that we displayed here, specifically on Shutterstock memes, or stock photos memes, as we want to call it. But in general, on memes themselves. Why are they so popular? Why are they so iconic?
Okay, so now we are going to switch to Tommaso, who's going to share the screen, as you already sent some memes. So we are going to start to build the table together. I have to stop this. Okay.
Everything is working, right? So we're gonna mute ourselves on this.
No,
okay,
no,
we're
no.
gonna keep this. Okay, perfect. So we.
So let's see what we have.
So on the left of the screen, you can see Tomato displaying the photos that we received in the Telegram chat, while on the right is the image processor that we use to assemble the tables. So we are going to transfer all the memes that we receive in the canvas. We're keeping on. They're keeping on sending it.
Yeah, perfect.
I really love not the last one, but the one on the stock memes that are made in in job interviews, like the one boss biggest weakness and me, I never know when to quit. That's okay, you're hired, I quit. I really love how these kind of memes interpret the idea of job interviews, and I'm really not surprised that they are one of the most used stock photos memes.
Okay, so as we are going on, what Tom is trying to do is to create thematic nucleus in a way. You can see this as, okay, I will say that, you know, like what a neural network will do when he has he, I don't know, it has a data set. What we do is to try to see if there are recurring patterns that can help us in understand if some theme thematic is kind of recurrent, and so it's more important. So of course, this process usually for us takes weeks, but what we could observe already is that, of course, for sure, a lot of stock images, memes are mocking the place of work and capitalism in general as a very sad
environment. Yeah, I think also because of the specific use of the stock photos, this is particularly brilliant. So yeah, what I found really nice is that photos made for commercial purposes and mainly to be sold brutally on the web for as many clicks as you can get are used to display how sad a reality where you just have to pay and to earn as much as you can be. So I really like the fact of how reality resonates in URL practices as memes, for example. And yeah, so what we were saying before about the job interview is gonna be just one of the clusters that Silvia was speaking about, is the one on the top left that Tomato is displaying now. But as you can see, there are various various clusters
maybe also what we would like to do, if you feel like, of course, is that you are free to intervene and switch your mic on and tell us something about what you think, because also I mean, if you're here and if you're sending pics, this means that you know something, and we want to know it too.
Wow, this is brilliant.
Just in terms of organization, if you want to unmute yourself, just send me or John a message or raise your hand in Zoom and we'll unmute you. In the meantime, I'm just reading a comment coming in from the chat. Edwina is writing, so many white people in stock photo memes.
Yeah, exactly. This is a theme actually already in the community. Actually, I want to send a meme in the chat that is about that. Oh no, I don't find it.
Yeah, it's anyway a recurrent theme. This also has to do with the fact that the images that we've produced for advertising are often racially and sexually biased. So, for example, women tends to be represented as mother or smiling while eating salad in the central meme that you can see displayed in our canvas, or going to have sports or drinking water. There's a very famous iStock meme with the fact that it ironizes on the fact that woman always drinks water in a very funny way in iStock photos. So for example, splashing it on their faces or whatever. But yeah, there's also a racial bias that highly impacts photos. So Black people, Asian people, and in general people of color and not white people are displayed as with different attitudes, and this sucks basically in our opinion. So it's good for memes to mock that.
There's someone else also, Ari, saying that lots of stock memes are actually dad jokes.
Actually?
Dad jokes, I guess, like boomer jokes.
Well, they're quite related to relatable memes. I mean, many of them are quite close to relatable memes, and relatable memes can have dad jokes, but also, I mean, I don't despair. I mean, how do you feel about that? Someone was saying that they have kind of dad jokes, so boomers humor.
Okay, yes. And so let's say the memes that the meme that I was sending right now in the chat, it's an example of something that was kind of passing, because these iStock memes were really popular in the 2060, 70, where of course the people who were doing were coming maybe from the millennial generation, not from the boomers, but it was a time in which it was, you know, 4 years ago, a long time ago, a time in which memes had that style, which was the relatable style. And so, of course, if you see them now, sometimes, and even if maybe some of those jokes can be normie or boomers, yes, of course. The image that I just sent is when you have a moment in which the meme is speaking, which was 4 years ago. Then the kind of styles go down, and then you have a comeback.
Like popularity and...
Yes, in popularity, and also the meme is twisted. So you are not using it in an ironic way, you are using it in a post-ironic way or meta-ironic way. And so this is what happens now. So this is an image of a meme that was actually published maybe today. They were Punctured Function sent us today this meme, and it was a meme that was kind of denouncing the fact that usually in memes of stock images, the people are white. So this is what happens, of course, now in the meme communities, is that it's a way to create a dialogue between each other. And yeah, so I don't know, like for some other meme style, this coming back is already very, very clear. Like, for example, now we are assisting at the maybe third age of the Wojaks. The Wojaks are coming back really in a powerful, everywhere, Wojaks everywhere, Wojaks made by neural networks, Wojak which are not Wojak, but which are new genders, or new that they don't represent what these new Wojak that are we are seeing in the past maybe 2 weeks in many meme channels are a comeback, which is a post-twisted post-ironic comeback from the LGBTQE community who is protesting against Wojak as a symbol of whiteness. So this is what happens every time with memes, that you have symbols which are powerful, which has a potential to become very viral, and so they get remixed a lot, and through the remixing, people are kind of expressing what they feel, and they want the internet to talk about. And
yeah, and also I don't know if it's because of the collective way of researching things that we have given ourselves, but you don't always have to agree with memes to study memes. I don't know if it's a clear if it's something that can resonate within you. So, for example, one of the memes communities I studied the most is incel, which are basically misogynistic dumbasses. But still, I think that their memetic production can be interesting, especially for the bond and the link that they have with IRL practices and way of expressing their ideas. So still, there is still artifacts, there is still manifestations of communities. And even if some of the let's say, of the relatable memes and some of the stock photos memes do have a dead or a boomer's humor, whatever it might mean, they're still relevant to be studied, in my opinion. Like.
So, for example, what is happening here is that we are right now almost 42 members in the chat. And what is happening is that you are kind of sending us your background and your subconscious. So you are 40 people coming from different backgrounds, but you are expressing your background in the picture. So for example, if you all were coming from Vietnam, we are going to do a workshop in Vietnam this week. The images, the stock images would be completely different. So maybe we could even look at the stock image and say, okay, there are some images about party life. Are you maybe coming from party life? Or there are a lot of images about office. So maybe you have problems with your office space, or you are constrained in a office work. Maybe, I don't know, like what I'm saying is that for us, of course, the interaction is interesting because of that. And yes, so as, wow. I don't know if you want to tell me if I was right. Are you missing the party life? Do you hate your job?
Actually, I think while everybody is quite busy populating the chat with all these images, yeah, I wanted to maybe pick up on something that you said about, you know, this idea of memes getting traction and getting like peak popularity and things like that, because I think that it's interesting, especially when we're dealing with stock photography. The stock photography, of course, revolve around a certain economy that is based on this, you know, like resolution and copyrights and all of that. And then they were used with watermarks and circulated as, you know, like poor images with this economy that Hitoshi started talking about in 2008 or so. And now with memes, we're seeing also another sort of meme economy, right? Which I'm not exactly sure where it sits in terms of this circulatory powers, and, you know, which kind of power it belongs to. I think I'm also not, I would like to know more about this value that is attributed to memes and how people can invest in memes. So it's almost like another sort of yeah, economy that is generated.
Okay, yes, there will be really a lot to say about that. So, for example, of course, there is a subreddit which is called meme. Oh man, shit! Sorry, I don't remember the name of the subreddit, but it's really important. And it was. Can you find it? Oh. No. We are going to write it in the chat later, but anyway, the fact of investing in new format was something that was popularized by this Reddit, Meme Stock Exchange was called. And but there is, of course, a discourse which is not meme economy. Fuck. Thank you, Francesca. But there is the discourse of memes interfere with the discourse of how users are kind of used by social media platforms. So every content that you create has a value, which is a commercial value, in terms of also, for example, of likes. And what happened is that there is a kind of chain that happens also between meme creators, and has always been like that since the start. So if you see, for example, there is a conference from Comic-Con from 2013 where you see Christopher Paul who's the founder of 4chan, you see the guys from Know Your Memes, and you see Ben who is the founder of the first website who were kind of earning money from the exposure of memes, which is I Can Has Cheeseburger, and they already understood that this thing was really important. Like Christopher Paul was saying, okay, like I on the website, like I'm the admin of the the creator of the website where memes are born, and I'm poor as fuck. And the other guys from Know Your Memes were saying, okay, yes, we take care of the community and the history of memes, and we are not as poor as fuck, but almost. And then you see the guy who's just taking memes from 4chan and from Know Your Memes and from other more poor as fuck forums, and expose them with the banner in his website, and he's rich. He's actually millionaire right now. And this is now happening in a very small and rhizomatic way. So you have example like, and there was this famous or infamous example of Ben Jerry. Francisca, help me. Jerry. Fuck Jerry. Fuck Jerry is an Instagram account that basically is reaching more and more popularity, so more and more followers, and also he's earning money from, as influencer do, by publishing memes on his account, which are coming from other accounts. So in the end, you have this chain that I was telling you before, back in 2013, is still going on. So and that's why you also have what we observe, like that 2 years ago, some people on Instagram started to create, come si dice il sindacato dei meme?
Meme syndicate.
Yeah, a syndicate that the community, the meme creators could use to defend themselves and their value. So they were asking basically to be quoted, of course. They were asking that their content, their original content, memes, would not have been used for to be exploited by someone else like Fuck Jerry, and they were, of course, they knew that they could never reach anything, but this is just a way, of course, to talk about the matter, and widely to talk about the matter, about the big problem, the elephant in the room, which is platform property, and the Zook and so
the ways that memes are distributed and shared through communities is often critical, and also a matter of reflection inside memetic cultures, because of course by creating this content and generating the interaction that the content is supposed to have, you generate interest and data for these big platforms, online platforms that usually are after the attention of their users. So all this kind of interaction are quite interesting to them. And another aspect that we try to take into consideration in our research is that platforms and technologies in general are not neutral. So they are designed to generate some reaction and to have some effects. So, and we think that platforms doesn't escape this kind of logic. But still, we think that you can do memetic experiments and produce interesting memetic outputs and take care of your community without feeding too much the Zook and the processes that are nasty behind these platforms.
Hey,
And there's a question from the audience, and I asked Philip to open his mic to ask it directly to you. So Philip, if you want to go ahead.
yeah, hi. I'm actually Philip's flatmate and just happened to be hearing this. Hi, I'm Drishti and I'm doing my research on semiotics, and I really find your presentation so far very interesting. I just have a basic question, and I was wondering all the time if you had used the term iconic initially, and then in between you also describe memes as symbolic or symbols. And I'm interested in knowing that what do you consider them as, like, really? Do you think they are symbols because they are part of the culture and they represent the cultural rituals, but they are being challenged at some moment, and therefore they are still part of cultural ritual, and therefore, I mean, how do you place them under what exact category, under symbols or icons? Like because I'm from a semiotic background, so I find
I do understand the question. I was graduated with Antonia Caronia, which was a logic and a semiotic, so I do understand your concern.
yeah.
We used iconic actually in different ways in this presentation and in the book. Sometimes we intend iconic as relevant to a community, so iconic in a pop meaning, if you may intend that way, not in a semantic way, not as icons, but we do think that memes can be symbols towards certain specific internet communities, because of course if looked at from outside those currents and outside those communities, they have no meaning. They have no, you just see the image and the caption, so which gives you the context, but you don't have the idea of all the remixing and the collaborative effort that there is behind each meme, because we get to know these memes format because they were relevant and many people worked on them and added their version and their remix to the dialogue. So for those people participating in the debate, of course they are symbol, like they symbolize cultural aspect and cultural patterns that resonate in society. That's why I was also talking about the job interview regarding the stock memes sessions that we were having now, because what they do is they manipulate an imaginary, basically, of the job interview, of the ritual of the interview, of what you are expected to go through and which question you are expected to answer to. So yeah, it depends on how you look. If you speak in a general way, it's not a symbol, as it doesn't have the reach and the wideness to be defined as such. But if you look and you study internet communities in particular, this can be much more true.
All right.
I don't know if I answered your question.
yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. Is there any other question?
Yeah, in the meantime, I think Clusterduck is also taking over the chat, so Joanna and I are becoming irrelevant, but for the people who are not seeing the chat, maybe it's worth bringing up some questions in the queue. So some people were asking about your favorite meme, and there's a longer reply in the chat, which I love how each of these questions is taken very seriously by you guys. But I don't know if you also want to share your it's a very tricky question, I guess, if you have favorite memes to share or to talk about.
Us?
Yes, I think it is.
No, but
It's
usually when they send us interview with this question, we have a meme, which is when they ask you about what your favorite meme is, there is a meme.
It's a question that's been posed to us many times, especially from newspapers, not often in debates. So
Yeah,
thank you for changing the
like
pattern.
2 times. Like
Yeah.
we are not the diva.
But yeah, it's been asked,
not be,
and it's really hard because it depends on what do you mean by favorite. Like there are some memes from the incel community or from the even from the alt-right, I guess. I mean, I always have to specify that for do the kind of disclaimer, but I come from a Jewish family, and some anti-Semitic memes makes me laugh. So those memes, I think that they are effective, but I wouldn't say they are my favorite, as I don't agree with the ideology that's brought forward with those kind of memes, while there are others that I really find effective. And it's really hard also to say a specific meme and not a format. For example, a very recent meme format that I really liked is the survivorship bias meme, which is a meme that came out in October of this year from the LGBTQI community. And it's really cryptic. It's not effective. It doesn't makes you laugh immediately. You have to understand the story behind the image. So it usually takes you like 2 or 3 minutes to laugh. But that's one of the reasons why I love that. But yeah, Silvia is trying to show you the meme that we've made to answer the.
No, it's the survivorship.
It's the survivorship.
You would never see it.
I'll share it in the chat anyway. Yeah. If you Google survivorship bias meme, it will tend to come out. And yeah, I mean, it really depends on which aspect I should explain my preference to. Is there any other question, or did we answer properly to your question?
I was also wondering, how are you organizing the memes that you that people are sending? Which are the clusters or the groups that you are creating?
So on the bottom left, you can see hide the pain arrow, then all the memes. I think I can leave space also to Tomato if he wants to integrate that. But as we were saying before, what we do is make clusters of similar images. So feel free also to suggest us where to move if you feel the meme you've been posting is not in the appropriate place. But basically, here you have hide the pain arrow. So the concept is hiding the pain behind that kind of unconvinced smile. Here you have the doctor's stock photos. On your right. So all the stock photos showing showing doctors and doctors related situations. I love this one. I can't help but laugh every time I see it. Berlin Club. Yeah, and then going up. Yes, there's a delay, I think, so you can slow down the movement. So here you have all the Berlin Club related memes. We do have half of our collective is based in Berlin, and much of our network is turning around that city. So that's probably where it comes from. I don't know. And so yeah, here you have, of course, the job interview meme format that I was talking about so much before. So I won't take any more time re-explaining what I already did. And
yeah, basically, usually what we do is gather all the material, which is what we are doing right now. Then we go through a process of, okay, this is the material we have. Why we gather this material? Do we miss something? There was some aspect that we want to talk about that was not represented in this table. And then later on we do the proper table, and this is what we were planning also this time. So that is why the chat will be active from 2 days from now, right? This is what we agree also with Screenworks. And so the performance now, I mean, I want to eat now, and I think all of you wants to eat, but the performance will go on, and we are still connected on the chat. And so in the next 2 days, you can continue to send more material. Maybe you can go deeper in it, and you will find something which in this 2 hours you didn't have the time to do. Maybe you want to express something in particular, you can send it to the chat. And after these 2 days, we are going to post on our channel and on our Screenworks channel the result of our collective work.
Great. Thank you. I guess that we should start wrapping up. There was just a last comment by George saying that that it's interesting to know that you don't necessarily have to agree with the content of your favorite memes. That it can be a favorite meme without agreeing on the content of
the content. Yeah, I mean, what I was saying, what I meant with that is that it all depends on which aspect of meme you choose to prefer, because there are some memes which are your favorites for some reasons, and some memes that you can like for some other reasons. But when you do research them, I think you have somehow you're obliged to show also things that you don't agree with. Otherwise, your research is not complete. It's not like faithful to what you observe.
Yeah, and also to understand how communities with whom we do not agree, maybe ideologically, it's very helpful, because you have seen in the past 6 years how people coming from, for example, the mainstream press in US weren't reacting in a very strategically wrong way to the alt-right, because they didn't understand what they have, what they were dealing with. And this is happening right now with QAnon. Like, for example, we were studying this phenomena in which QAnon is kind of infiltrating the yoga and new age communities by using it's called pastel QAnons product, which are memes, very cute, very pink, or that talk about mystical themes, but that has, that subliminal or even not so subliminal message about vaccine is a scam and you will die if you got the vaccine, or there are microchip inside it, or 5G or whatever, all those kind of QAnon messages. And so it's very important to know that those are memes that has a particular goal, and they are created for that kind of purpose, and to tell it to the people that we are near to. So, for example, I have a lot of new age friends coming from the psychedelic community, friends coming from the yoga community, that are kind of falling in these nets, So of course, my favorite memes are not the Quanon memes, but I'm obsessed by them right now. And so maybe they are, I don't know.
So I think time is ending.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, thank you so much. I was just checking the Telegram channel and I saw that there have been shared more than 100 and like around 170 photos so far. So yeah, I just want to starting to wrap up the event. Just want to thank everyone who has joined, not only here on Zoom or on Twitch, but also on the Telegram channel, and who has sent all these memes to the channel. Well, they have really helped us to build this table. It's been great.
Thank you also from my side
Hey,
to all of you at Clusterduck and all of the people who joined today. I think, yeah, it's great. I think we started this machine that I look forward to seeing evolve over the next 2 days. And you guys have been incredible at unfolding so many interesting topics in such limited time while doing this board. You know, it's impressed. And yeah, I also hope that, you know, in this small short event, we managed to open up many different questions that you know, everyone can kind of follow and unpack more in the next weeks and months. I want to mention something really quick. We see each other again in 2 weeks with the Screenwalks with Dina Kelberman, again at 7 p.m. CET or 6 p.m. UK time. But we have a small favor to ask before we leave. If you have 1 minute, please help us to fill a few questions that we left at screenwalks.com/poll, P-O-L-L. So there are only 8 questions, but they will help us understand a little bit better, you know, where you heard about us, who you are, and how to improve our series. So if you have just a second before having dinner or going about with your evening, just stop by screenwalks.com/poll, and thanks a lot. So once again, thank you all, the Clusterduck family, and we hope to see all of your great projects unfolding in the future. And everyone else, see you in 2 weeks.
Yeah, we are gonna do the usual unmute all. Sorry, maybe you wanted to say something, Clusterduck?
Yeah, we wanted to thank you. We had fun, and we really like to be here. And of course, thanks to everybody who joined
and participated with memes and shared your memes with us.